Welcome to the American Nomad podcast, hosted by the legend himself, or as I refer to him, the legend in his own mind, Rav Holly.
How about now? That should have fixed it. Now I've got an echo again. Can you hear me now? I swear sound is going to be the death of me trying to figure this freaking sound out. I don't know how much money I've spent trying to get good sound. All right, good. I've got an echo now. I don't know what the deal is. I had it last week. I thought I tried to fix it. I thought I had it fixed, and I got it fixed because I turned something off. So something's running that's not supposed to be. So I may lose sound here again, guys. Give me just a second. Can you guys still hear me? Can you hear me now, Random Nomad? No echo? You guys don't have an echo? I have an echo. I'm talking about I have an echo. It drives me nuts. You can hear me? Good. What's up, Detox D? Okay. I got rid of most of the echo, but I still have a little bit of echo, and I don't know what is causing it. I had it last week, too. Oh, is it Randy Lancaster? What's going on, buddy? How's the sound? Is it too, is it loud enough? I think I got the I've got it the volume up pretty loud. No, it's on my end, Random Nomad. I do other things with my mixer, and so I was trying to today this mixer actually has it has a thing for your phone, so you can plug your phone right into it and be able to make a phone call and do like phone interviews. And it was one of the reasons I bought this mixer. That was one of the perks of buying the mixer that I got, this new one. And you're literally supposed to be able to just plug your phone right into it. Well, I needed an adapter because I have the new iPhone the iPhone now that doesn't have the plug in it. So I had to buy an adapter. I got the adapter in. I plugged the phone in. It doesn't work. It does not work. I tried calling my buddy Noah today. And it won't work. It's supposed to just be, plug it in and it works, and it doesn't work. So I was trying to figure that out. But I think that's when I probably messed the settings up on my mixer. Was trying to figure that out. And this echo that I have now that I used to never have, and now I do, and I don't know what's causing it. Or I don't know what I can do to get rid of it. Maybe that fixed it? Nope, I still hear it. But you guys don't hear an echo? As long as you don't hear it, that's all that matters. Anyway, thank you guys for stopping in for the Friday show. One of these days I'm going to get all of these freaking quirks ironed out maybe. The problem is I get them ironed out and then I start messing around and tweaking stuff and trying to use things for no echo humming. You getting humming? Do you hear a humming? Yeah, trying to make it better, Random Nomad, for sure. Anyway, let's get to our first topic. We're 15 minutes in with all the technical difficulties here. I wanted to talk about Mike Wallace. No humming for me. Okay, great, Matilda. I wanted to talk about Mike Wallace. I'm not real familiar with Mike Wallace. I know he's been driving for NASCAR for many years, but he was never one of my favorite drivers when I was really big I was never really big into NASCAR. But when they built the Texas Motor Speedway in Texas, I started, my wife at the time, ex-wife now, she used to get free tickets through her work. So we would actually go to the NASCAR. And so I'm not a big fan of NASCAR. I'm not a huge fan of NASCAR, but I mean, I don't have anything against it. I know there's a lot of people that are very into the NASCAR. And I just thought it was very interesting that Mike Wallace, he's 61 years old, still driving NASCAR. That's crazy. 61 years old, but he's been suspended indefinitely by NASCAR. They've suspended him indefinitely, and it was over a social media post that he made. So, be right back one bit. Yeah, no problem, Random Nomad. So, you know, it was a social media post he made, so I'm thinking, oh gosh, you know, what did he say? Had to have been something racist or just way unpolitically correct or something to something like that probably got him in trouble with NASCAR. So I go and start reading this article about him getting suspended, and lo and behold, I come across they put in the article why he got suspended, what he said, and I read it, and I literally find absolutely nothing wrong with it. He didn't say anything racially motivated. He didn't say anything that was too off the cuff, PC correct wise, and it's pretty alarming because this is what I said was going to happen with all of this PC correct nonsense. It was just going to run amok. And now people are saying things that aren't even that unpolitically correct, and they're getting in trouble for it. So it's just getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, let me read this to you, what he said. If you guys haven't heard this, let me read what he said. So so keep this in mind. When I read this to you, this is what got him suspended indefinitely. Let me get it up here where I can see it. Oh, I just had it and now I messed it up. Okay. All right, here we go. It says, so NASCAR released this statement saying public statement or communication that criticizes, ridicules, or otherwise disparages another person based upon that person's race, color, creed, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, marital status, religion, age, or handicapping condition. So that was part of the NASCAR's statement on it, or why they said they suspended him. But here's what he said. Beer run, be back. Phone needed to charge. No worries. It says, you know, I fly. This is what Mike Wallace said, in quotes. You know, as I fly across the United States today, I'm ready various people's political. I'm ready various people's political views, and I have to say, a famous 4-star military general that I spent time with in the Middle East told me, Mike, let me give you some advice. Don't ever get in a conversation about politics or religion unless you are really smart. I said, why do you say that? What do you say that comment? His response, it's like being balanced on a single-edged razor blade. If you slip, you will get cut. Think about that before we all make foolish, uneducated posts. Moral of this story is most of us use, just repeat. Most of us, it's supposed to be us, it says use. Most story is most of us just repeat what we have heard. We really don't know. Have a great positive day. And that's all he said. And that got him indefinitely suspended from NASCAR. I mean, I'm flabbergasted. I mean, it wasn't like he was attacking anybody. He basically just said, just be careful with what you say because it'll get you, it could get you in trouble. But just don't refer to politics and don't be talking about religion, and you should be okay. Well, nope. He got indefinitely suspended for that post, where he's warning people to be careful with what they post. How ironic is that? So I'm still beside myself. I can't believe NASCAR. I mean, indefinitely suspended. It's not like they suspended him for a day or two. He's indefinitely suspended. It's so funny because I thought I had this echo fixed, and the only reason I had the echo fixed on my end is because I had actually turned off the mic. I know it's got to be one of these cameras. I think the sound is coming through the camera. I need to turn off the sound for the camera itself. Let's see. Nope, it's all turned off. That doesn't make sense. Oh, there we go. The capture card. Let me try this. Now let's see if there's, nope, still an echo. We'll figure it out one day. The sad part is I didn't have an echo, and now I do have an echo, and I don't know what I did, but somewhere I did something. Random Nomad says, WTF is clean. It's what the Frank. Yeah, I mean, he didn't say anything to me that I thought was too politically incorrect, but evidently NASCAR thought so, so he is suspended indefinitely. That means for the foreseeable future. He is suspended. Okay, so I just switched cameras and I don't have as much echo, but yeah, there's still some echo there. Thought if I switch cameras, I'd be able to. I'm wondering if, because I'm using this new camera as the A camera, and I'm wondering if I left the. I wonder if I left the volume on so the speaker is actually picking up sound. That's a possibility. Anyway, we're back over here on B camera. Randy Lancaster, is there a modulation button on your equipment? I've got a big mixer, but there's not really a modulation button. And I've got all the effects turned off, so it's there's no modulation turned off. I've got the effects all the way down. But that's what it sounds like. It sounds like the echo effect on my end, like if you had the echo effect turned on. I'll figure it out one day. And we're back on A camera. So yeah, that was my main story for today. I just I read that and I'm still just a little bit beside myself because that's kind of scary. Because what's going to happen is people are just going to start. People are going to start getting in trouble for saying stuff that's not even politically incorrect. You're just going to start getting in trouble for just everyday conversation or everyday social media post. They basically, NASCAR told him he's going to have to go to sensitivity training. Is there even, I never even heard of such a thing. Like sensitivity training or something along those lines. Random Nomad says, well, I guess I never really liked NASCAR hardcore, but still it's kind of inferring on what they want to believe. Yeah, that's my take on it. It's crazy how it's crazy to me how these sports entertainment from NFL to NASCAR to all of them have decided that they're going to jump on the bandwagon and they're going to get political. It didn't work out very well for the NFL with the whole Kaepernick thing. And if you watched yesterday was the opening of the NFL. Yeah, kind of infringing on what they want to believe. Got your Random Nomad. If you watched last night was the opening of the NFL, and it was against the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs against the Houston Texans. And as they come out on the field, they did a moment of silence thing and locked elbows for race relations kind of thing. And then all the players stood for the national anthem, but one Kansas City Chief kneeled. But the funniest thing, well, I don't know if it's funny, but the crowd, which was it was very sparse. If you look at the stands, there was very few people in the crowd. In the stands, but there was enough that they booed, and the booing actually came through. They booed, and there was enough people in the stands that you could hear the booing. So that was pretty hilarious, and it was actually it was a trending topic on Twitter. They were talking about all the booing from the Kansas City, and so now all the leftist media are talking. They're naming the Kansas City Chief fans. What did they call them? Trash. They called them trash because they booed. And what I said was, if you want to, you're in this country, you are free to protest. It's an American right to protest, but that means everybody can protest. So if I want to protest by booing, I can protest by booing. It's so funny. Everybody wants to, protest, but if somebody else protests and they don't agree with that protest, those people are trash. Matilda says, boycotting all pro sports. Yeah, I've kind of done the same thing, Matilda. The only thing I'm watching now or keep up with really is mixed martial arts, and I don't do that like I used to. I really used to watch mixed martial arts all the time, but not so much anymore. So I want to ask you guys, I know I have the blue light, which is different. The pink was very in for, I don't know, like last year, 2019, the pink was all the rage. And it was the color that I had. I started with blue. If you guys remember back my old studio, I started with blue, but the pink was the darkest shade color that I had because I had two different gels that were pink. So it made it really pink. Randy Lancaster says, I like the blue. Good. I've got a couple extra lights that are actually on their way, so it should change the backdrop, but we'll see how it works out once they get here because I've had trouble with everything else I've ordered. I actually had to file a claim with UPS today because I ordered a new mic stand so I could have guests on. I was supposed to have a guest on like Monday, had scheduled it, and had ordered this new mic stand, and it's lost. They said they delivered it per UPS, and I've never got it. The collar has blue. Oh, my collar has blue? Yeah, that's right. I didn't even notice that. It matches my collar. Shirt matches the background. Good call, Matilda. You should be a photographer. Black and gray. Sorry, wrong conversation. But anyway, what I was going to ask you guys, so does the picture quality, is it just look the same to you guys, or does it look a little different, a little sharper, or does it look the same? The reason I'm asking you is I got a new capture card. So this is a capture card. There we go. You can see, you really can't see it, but it's a little card, a little thing, and it's an HDMI capture card, so you can hook a camera into a capture card to your computer. This used to be the only way you could really get your computer to work, your camera to work with your computer. So you could use your camera as a webcam. But these camera companies like Sony, this company here, has made a workaround. So you can use it via USB, but USB is not quite the quality of you get with using an HDMI. So I ordered this capture card because I got this capture card on eBay for like $11. It's more sharper, better. Oh, good, Random Nomad. My bad, UPS lost our package of Raleigh's Auto Parts. I haven't really ever had a UPS lose a package of mine, but they lost this mic stand that I was waiting to get. But anyway, so I got this little capture card. I got it for $11 on eBay, and I had been going to get a capture card for some time, but the Elgato capture card that I wanted, it's called an Elgato, or the only one it's probably the most popular one. The Elgato, it's $100 or they're $150 something now, and it looks almost identical to this. So I just waited it out and looked up for workarounds, and I figured a workaround, and then lo and behold, this little capture card comes out, and I don't know how long it'll last. It may not last a month, but the picture quality on it is great right now. I think it's great. I think it looks fantastic for an $11 capture card compared to a $150 capture card. I don't think it would have looked that different. And I think the quality is I think it looks better than the USB. Matilda says, watching tonight on my iPhone, so I can't really see a picture difference. Oh, okay. Well, it's good to know that we're streaming great on an iPhone. My connection says we have an excellent connection, so I like the streaming. I like the streaming sense of how YouTube has the. It's funny because it's just different than the. It's different than the using their webcam feature. The webcam feature is a lot simpler than using their streaming YouTube streaming, but still I'm getting used to the streaming. I like the simplicity of the regular YouTube, just a webcam feature, but I like the streaming better. You have a lot more bells and whistles. Amy Preston says, I'm always on Android, not quite as sharp tonight, but okay. Oh, it's not as quite as sharp, huh? Random Nomad says Android is working fine. I was hoping it was sharper, but I guess not. Guess the capture card HDMI didn't help the quality any. I was hoping it would. It looks a lot sharper on my end over here, so that may be something to do with YouTube, because it looks way sharper on my just directly into the computer before it goes to YouTube. We got seven people in the room. Welcome, guys. If anybody's joining us new, Randy. Let's see, Randy Lancaster. I don't remember you, Randy. Are you new? Are you new to the show? If so, welcome, buddy. I appreciate you dropping in. And if you haven't heard, I'm sure everybody has heard. Random Nomads, I think it's a bit better. Remember, thumbs up. Yeah, please, guys, hit me with a thumbs up if you would. I'd really appreciate it. Your mic head is super sharp. Your face, not quite so much. Chair is blurry. Yeah, that's because that's called depth of field, Amy. So this camera will do a 1.8 aperture, so it blurs out the background. So everything should be blurry except for my face. Hey, Melinda, I was just thinking about you. I was just getting ready to hit my new, what was I going to say? Oh, my new topic. Amy says, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so this lens on this Sony will do a 1.8 aperture. The old camera would do a 2.8. So it's a whole stop. And the lower the number, the more blurry you can make the background, if that makes sense. But my face shouldn't be blurry, because this right here is where it's supposed to be focused. Welcome to the stream, all who are new. Yes, welcome to the stream, guys. Anybody that's new, appreciate it. Matilda Becker says looks better. Great. That was the goal. If you remember, so there's a shelf right there, and this shelf, it used to be pretty much in focus. You could see if I had something sitting on there, and now with the lower aperture, you can't really see what's on that shelf, which is the way I like it. Anyway, Melinda, how are you? I've been following you on your Facebook journey. Thank you, Random Nomad, for letting me know my face is sharp. I've been following you on your Facebook journey. For those that don't know or are not friends with Melinda Becker, who just came in the room, she's up in Washington. And like us here in California, Washington is basically on fire. It's basically burning down. The same thing's happening here in California. We're having huge wildfires again this year. I'm sorry, Oregon. I get those two states mixed up. Oregon. She's in Oregon, and Oregon is on fire. Isn't Washington? Isn't there a fire in Washington as well? If I believe, I may be wrong there. It may just be Oregon, but I know there's a bunch of wildfires going on all up and down the West Coast. And here in California, they're saying it's the biggest wildfire in the state's history, but they say that every year that we have a new wildfire. Yes, Melinda Becker. The whole west side is burning. So even here in Orange County, or we're right south of LA, if you go outside, the sky's all orange, and it's just a big layer of smoke that's covering up. You can't even see the sun. It looks cloudy, but it's just smoke. And I was looking at Melinda's her Facebook page, and some of her Portland is under unrest. Yeah, well, Portland, that's a different type of fire. We're talking about wildfires. So planned, we are getting fires in the valley. Yeah, so This fire we have here in California, they're saying it's the biggest wildfire ever in the state. But like I said, they say that every year. But so far, we haven't had like the damage that we had like, I think 2018 or 2017 was when the town of Paradise, California actually burned down. We haven't had like all the deaths yet, but who knows? Melinda Becker says some are being set. Oh, some of the fires, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Because they don't know how to care for their forest. Yep, that's very, very true, Random Nomad. California, they don't do because of all of the crazy tree huggers, they don't clear out brush and do all of the kind of stuff like they do in Colorado and these other states that have thick brush or thick forestry. You do have to take care of that stuff. You just let it grow. It becomes tender, it becomes very apt to catch on fire. Get struck by lightning, it'll catch on fire. Amy Preston says yes, and scattered fires as far east as Colorado that are in several states to the north and the south. Yeah, I haven't heard too much about any other fires, but I'm sure there are some out there. Melinda Becker says, we let them in and they are biting and choking us out. Random Nomad says, I know about the forest form where I'm from. We have forest in Minnesota. Yes, you do. I've been all through Minnesota. You have a lot of forest up there in Wisconsin and Minnesota. But I think you guys are moist enough up there. There's enough rainfall per year that you don't really have that much wildfire up in those areas. Do you, Random Nomad? I don't remember ever really hearing too much about a wildfire up around Minnesota or Michigan or Wisconsin. Random Nomad, Arizona was on fire here about a month ago. Yeah, they had. The funny thing is the fire that we have here in Southern California, if you haven't heard, it started, the big one started from a gender reveal party. So this couple that was having a baby, they went out in an area that people that are from that area said is just a tinderbox. And they let off a smoke bomb to announce the gender of their child. And they set the ground on the foliage around them, the dry foliage around them on fire. And that is what's created the biggest wildfire that we have here in Southern California. But there's another one way up in Northern California that's really big. And from what I understand, I believe it started by lightning is what started that one. Random Nomad says, we have beautiful forest, but we are managed. Yes, I agree. I've been in Minnesota. Let's see. I've been to St. Cloud. I've been all the way up Minnesota from like Austin, Minnesota, which is south of Minneapolis, St. Paul. I've been all the way up to Moorhead, Minnesota. I've driven all the way up through there, through St. Cloud, through all the way up there to Moorhead, which is Fargo, North Dakota, and Moorhead, Minnesota. For those of people that don't know, that there's like one road that runs through the middle of town, and you can. It's like a main road, and that road runs through the middle of Moorhead, Minnesota, and Fargo, North Dakota. It's like one town, but it's one town in two different states. It's crazy. Random Nomad says the high desert area. Yeah, well, there was a gender reveal party in Arizona like a year or so ago that they set a big fire up there as well. It was like a guy that shot thermite or something and for a gender reveal and caught the foliage on fire in Arizona. So they had a big wildfire there for a gender reveal party as well. Random Nomad, East Grand Forks. Yep, I've been to East Grand Forks. I've been all up through Minnesota. The coldest I've ever been in my life was in the state of Minnesota. It was 48 degrees below zero. 48 degrees below zero, and the wind chill was like 84 degrees below zero. There was a 15-minute skin advisory, so you were driving around, and the radio would, every 15 minutes or every 10 or 15 minutes, the radio would go, 15-minute skin advisory. Do not be outside with any exposed skin. for over 15 minutes, or you could get severe frostbite. If you get severe frostbite, seek medical attention immediately. And I was like, what is going on? Where in the hell am I? Because I actually lived in Texas. I lived in Dallas at the time. Too dry up there. Yep. Amy Preston says, like Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri is one city. Yeah. They're separated by I-35, though, Amy Preston. The downtowns on both cities. They're like on each side of the... But yeah, it's a lot like that. Just on a lot smaller version of Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri. I've been to both of those places many times. Random Nomad says, must have been then near the Tower, Minnesota. Melinda Becker, anyone have pointers on where to move? That's a good question, Melinda Becker. Random Nomad says, Guinness Book of World Record holder for coldest air temperature. Tell him in the in Tower, Minnesota. Yeah, like I said, the coldest I ever been was there, and I was in Minneapolis. It was actually Minneapolis, and I had a brand new. This was in the late '90s. I had a brand new 1997 GMC Yukon Denali. It was brand new. I'd had it for maybe like 2 months. And I was driving around Minneapolis, and the heater wasn't working, and I was freezing. I was working up there, and I was driving around, and I was freezing. And finally, it was like 2 p.m. All the work I had to do was pretty much done. I still had a few things to do, but I look up and I see like a Chevy dealership. So I pull in, and for those of you don't know, you pull in up there in Minnesota, and this Chevy dealership, the entire service bay was in a huge. You pulled in. They opened like a garage door, and you pulled into this ginormous, looked like a mall. It's all indoors, and I'd never seen that being from Texas. The service department and everything's all outside. There's no indoor. But anyway, this huge, looked like half an airplane hangar thing. So you're all inside. And it's these different bays, and I was like in bay 14 or whatever. So I get out and I walk all the way to these little. They have these little offices for the service managers or service people, and so I walk up to the 14 window because I'm in lane 14. So I go to the 14 window and tell the guy, hey, I got this brand new truck and the heater's not working. And he goes, oh, okay, well, we'll take a look at it for you. He goes, I said, it's still under warranty and everything. So he's like, oh, okay, yeah. So he starts filling out all the work order and all of that stuff. And he calls one of the mechanics or the techs to come in. The tech comes in and he goes, hey, take this placard. So he gives this placard that goes on the window with like a number on it, I guess, and the information, my driver information. So he goes, go put this on the mirror of that GMC Yukon out there, the black Denali, and we're going to look at it because the heater's not working. And the guy's like, yeah, okay. Well, I had gotten out and just left the truck running because the heater wasn't working. So I just got out and left it running. And then I see the guy go out there, and I'm talking to the service manager. He comes right back, and he goes, wait a minute. He goes, the black Denali? And I was like, yeah. He goes, the heater's working fine. He goes, it's like 100 degrees in there. I'm like, what? I said, I've been driving around all day. The heater hasn't worked at all since this morning. I said, it warmed up a little bit this morning, and then it went out after 30 minutes of driving. And he goes, it's like an oven in there. I said, that's crazy. I said, it hasn't worked all day. I've been driving around since like 9 o'clock this morning. It hasn't worked all day. And then the two guys kind of looked at each other, and he goes, oh, he's got Texas plates on that truck. And they both looked at each other and they go, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Dallas. And they go, oh, okay. Well, you probably don't know what's going on. He goes, well, it's like 25, 30 below right now. So when you're driving around, it's so cold that it's the water in your radiator is cooling off, and it's not letting your heater work. I was like, what? So I'd never even heard of such a thing. So they ended up having this. They sold me this bib grill thing, It had it was funny because it had a Chevy logo on it. And I'm like, I don't want that. It's got a Chevy logo on it. I have a GMC. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, we'll give it to you. So they gave it to me for like $10. It was like a $50 grill bib thing. So they went out. The guy went out there. The tech went out there, and he like wired it on. It just went over the grill of my truck. So it's a deal. Maybe you've seen them on big rigs. Big rigs, I guess, use them a lot that travel up north. But anyway, it was this mesh thing that went over the grill of my truck that restricted the airflow. I'd never seen anything like it, but it made the heater work. The only problem is that when it warmed up to like 0 degrees, which was, I guess, was like a heat wave because it wasn't 25, 30, 40 below. It actually warmed up to like 0 degrees or -3. And if I was sitting at a red light, the freaking truck would start getting hot. The temperature gauge would start creeping up and the truck would start overheating. So I would have to get out there, and like it had these little strings that tied it on, and it was such a pain in the butt to put on and get off. Random Nomad says GMC and Chevy are the same. Yes, they are. They're exactly the same, except one says GMC and one says Chevy. I know, because I've had a Chevy Tahoe and I've had a GMC Denali, or a GMC Yukon. A Chevy Tahoe and a GMC Yukon are the exact same truck. They just have a different grill and a few little different things. And one says Chevy and one says GMC, but they're the exact same truck. Yes, Random Nomad, it's a cold air block. Melinda Becker says, don't Jeeps have that well people put them on anyway? I've never seen them on a Jeep, Melinda, but maybe. Random Nomad says, Fords have been the best ever cold weather starting vehicle I ever owned. That's funny you say that, Random Nomad, because the last time I was in Texas at my dad's, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Lubbock, Texas. I grew up out around Lubbock, Texas. And my dad has been driving a Ford diesel since the 80s, since 1984, the first Ford diesel that Ford made, the old International engine. My dad bought one within like the first month that they hit the market. So he's been driving Ford diesel since 84. And he's got a Ford diesel now. And the last time I was in Texas a couple of years ago, during Christmas, during winter, my brother drives a Dodge diesel, and I was driving Bertha at the time, my Dodge camper van. So it was funny because it was the coldest weather, some of the coldest weather I was in Dallas, and when I was in Dallas, it got down to 12 degrees in Dallas, and that was the coldest it had been. Wait, was it 12 degrees? I can't remember, but it was the coldest it'd been like in 15 years. And sure enough, when I'm there in town, that's just my luck. And all the water pipes and everything froze on my rig, because I had a full tank. I went and got a full tank of propane, but it was so cold in Dallas that I went through a full tank of propane, which would usually last me, I could make a tank of propane last a month. But it got so cold, I left the heater on like 70 degrees, and it got so cold that the propane ran out within 24 hours because the heater was running all the time. Toyota did okay on high cold starting. Amy Preston says, we were cheap, zip-tied cardboard in. Yeah, I guess that would probably work too, Amy. But anyway, so it got super cold there at my dad's, and the next morning, my dad got ready to go somewhere, and my brother and I were going to go somewhere, and my dad's truck wouldn't start. His Ford diesel wouldn't start. And it was funny because my brother knew exactly what was wrong with it. He goes, that water filter on that damn Ford, he goes, they got a water separator on that damn Ford. It's underneath the truck, and every time the weather will get cold, if there's any water in that water separator, it'll freeze up and it blocks the fuel lines. And my dad's like, well, I never heard that. And my brother Wes was like, yep, I'm telling you, that's exactly what's wrong with it. So my brother and I went out there and crawled up under my dad's truck. And sure enough, there was this water separator, looked like a filter up underneath the truck, just exposed. So when the cold wind gets blowing up underneath that that diesel Ford truck, that freaking water separator, if it's got any water in there, that water freezes and then you can't start the truck. So we ended up pulling it off and thawing it out, putting it back on, and my dad's truck fired right up. But we were giving my dad a pretty hard time because it's a pretty new diesel pickup. And went out there and started my Dodge started right up, and my brother's Dodge diesel started right up. So my dad's was the only one that didn't start, the Ford diesel. And then while we were fixing my dad's Ford diesel, my brother's girlfriend called, who also drives a Ford diesel, and she called, and guess what she said? I don't know what's going on. My truck won't start. My brother and I, we were laughed. My brother looked at me, we were laughing. He goes, I'm getting dad's truck started. Getting the water separator to get the water out of it. So we're putting this back together, and I'll be over to your place here in about 30 minutes, and we'll get yours done as well. So yeah, evidently, I guess the new Fords, they fixed that problem, but that was one of the dumbest ingenuity things I've ever seen on an automobile, was them putting that water separator where it's hanging down. I mean, it's right there exposed in the bottom of the truck. And any cold wind going underneath that truck, like out there in West Texas, it's like Minnesota. I mean, the wind will blow out there 40, 50 miles an hour. And if it's, 10 degrees, it freezes right up. Random Nomad says, you need to buy a northern truck. What's a northern truck, Random Nomad? Because our Fords are up here, start fine. Ford built in Minnesota, cold weather package. Oh, yeah. That makes sense if you get a cold weather package on them. It's funny because it's funny you say that, because when I automobile shop, I've bought a lot of automobiles, and I look all over, like I bought a 66 Mustang. When I look, and even Bertha, my camper van, when I'm looking around for vehicles, I always will do a report to, I'll run the VIN and do a report to make sure that vehicle's never been up north. I never buy a vehicle that's been up north. The 66 Mustang that I had, I bought it in Phoenix, Arizona. It was the craziest thing. I bought that car in Phoenix, Arizona. I flew from LA to Phoenix to pick it up, and I got it and drove it to LA, and that car had never been out of the Phoenix area since 66. It sold on the Ford dealership. There was a big Ford dealership in Phoenix, in downtown Phoenix, in 66. I think it's still there, but there was a big Ford dealership there, and that 66 Mustang sold brand new on the showroom floor, and had been in Phoenix its entire life until I bought it and brought it to Southern California and drove it for 4 or 5 years, and then I sold it, and the guy shipped it to Florida. So I think it's in Florida now. Yeah, too much salt. That's exactly the reason why, because of the rust issues. That's why I don't buy any vehicle from up north, even like Missouri. I won't buy anything from Missouri, anywhere they have these super cold climates and it gets cold. Like that 66 Mustang I bought from Phoenix, it had lived its whole life in Phoenix. It didn't have any rust on that car at all. None. But Montana and South Dakota don't use salt. Yeah, haven't seen too many vehicles from either one of those states. I've been through both. I've been through South Dakota many times and been through Montana as well. But they still have some rough winters in both of those places, especially Montana. I've been in Montana when it was super, super cold. Casper, Wyoming. Yeah, it gets super cold up there. Lots of snow. Climbing the mountains in the snow, coming off the mountains in the snow. Big mountains. It's a little hairy. It was funny because I was up there I didn't even know it. It was supposed to be, I didn't even know that it was a state law, but when you go up the mountain, they have this pull off, and the pull off is for you to pull off and put snow chains on your truck. And I was in that same GMC Yukon, and it was 4-wheel drive, and I had like BF Goodrich all-terrains on that truck and 4-wheel drive, so I just had it in 4-wheel high, and I was just cruising along. And then I can't remember what happened, but somebody told me like they were saying something, and I was like, no, I don't even own snow chains. They're like, you don't pull over and put snow chains on your truck when you climb the mountain? I'm like, no, I don't even own any snow chains. And they're like, well, that's a state law. You could get in big trouble for going up the mountain with no snow chains on your, the snow chains on your tires. I was like, well, hell, I didn't know. I said, I couldn't imagine that because I had driven so far. There was like 15 mountain ranges I had to cross. And you're telling me I'd have to pull over and put snow chains on my tires and climb the mountain and then get to the top of the mountain, take them off, and then come down and take them off, and then go maybe another 3 miles and then pull over and put the snow chains back on and climb the mountain? I said, I'm getting out of this state, and I ain't buying any snow chains, and I never did. But I'd never heard of such a thing. I thought it was crazy. Hey, Leah, what is going on? Haven't seen you in a while, Leah. Joel P, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Random Nomad says, I learned about snow chains. Yeah, they're a pain in the ass to put on and a pain in the ass to get off. That was Montana, Leah. Lee. It's Lee, right? I always say Leah, it's Lee. Good to see you guys. Haven't seen you in a long time, Lee. Good to see you. Good to see you, Good to see you, Joel P. Thanks for dropping in and checking it out, buddy. We're just getting ready to wrap it up. We're 55 minutes in here. Going to be wrapping it up in an hour. Anybody got any big plans for the weekend? What are you guys doing? So it's going to be kind of funny if the viewership drops on the NFL, how they're going to keep paying these players the multi-million-dollar contracts if they don't have the viewership. It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Random Nomad says, in the high desert, but I came from a state with snow and never used chains with snow and ice. Don't drive like a douchebag. Yeah, for sure. Joel P, where are you at, Joel P? You out in Arizona now? I don't want to know what snow chains for a bus cost. Yeah. How's your bus coming along? You got your kitchen and everything built out? It was looking pretty nice the last time I saw the kitchen build out you did. It's a lot of work you're putting in that bus. I couldn't imagine taking a bus up the freaking mountain to put snow chains on a bus and taking it up the mountain. Oh, Lee, you're painting the house. Ooh, that sounds like a lot of work. Amy Preston says, changing the radiator in my truck this weekend. Nora is with with other grandma. Ooh, that's no fun. I've done radiator swaps. It's no fun. It's not that hard, though. It can actually go pretty quick if you've got the exact same drop-in radiator. Yeah, the high desert does get snow, Random Nomad. Lee says, I changed my radiator last year in my Jeep. Amy, what kind of truck? Joel P, I'm getting ready to put in holding tanks. Oh, that'll be fun. It was like at 5,700 in Arizona. Oh, you must have been in northern Arizona, Random Nomad. You said the high desert, though, right? Oh, you got a Suburban, Amy? So is Melinda still in here? Melinda Becker, are you still in here? Because I was looking at some of her Facebook posts, and it looked like she evacuated in Oregon. It looked like she had to evacuate, and I was a little bit worried because it sounded like her car wasn't running very well, which is pretty scary. Oh, you're in Texas, Joel P? Where out in Texas are you? How did I not know that? I'm from Texas. Yeah, Melinda, you're still in there? So how is everything going now as far as the fire? Are you at a point where you're not? Did you have to you did have to evacuate, right? Did I read your post right? It looked like that you had evacuated. Yeah, you're in Prescott. Got it, Random Nomad. And then I was worried because I guess you were making a post saying that your car wasn't running very well. It didn't like the smoke, something electrical. Oh, you did evacuate, so you're in the city. your place is very rural out there, but it didn't look like you had much tall vegetation anywhere close to your house. Do you, Melinda? From the pictures I looked at. Yeah, you're dying there. So are you at a hotel or are you at friends' houses? You're at a friend's house? Where are you at, Melinda? I'm not trying to be nosy. I'm just wondering how you're doing. You live on a creek front. Yeah. Oh, you're with family? Well, that's good that you are with family. Joe P. Graham, Texas at a place for Duke conversions. Awesome Possum Van Works. Oh, wow. Awesome Possum Van Works. That's cool. Graham, Texas. I don't know if I'm sure I've been there, been through it. I don't even know where that's at. Graham, Texas. Sounds really familiar. Oh yeah, it's north of Breckenridge. I have been through there. Yeah, in between Wichita Fall and Abilene. Right north of Breckenridge. Played football in Breckenridge when I was a kid. Or played them in football, I should say. Random Nomad says, coldest it's got was 18 degrees when I was out there in Prescott. Yeah, I was in Prescott a few years ago, and it was pretty cold. It snowed. There was snow on the ground. But it got pretty cold when I lived in Joshua Tree. That's high desert as well, Random Nomad. Amy Preston says, good, Melina, glad you're... Yeah, glad you're safe, Melinda. That's the main thing. You're having a reaction to the smoke right now? Yeah, smoke is pretty bad. For those people that's never been in any type, been in or around any type of wildfires, it's crazy how choking the smoke gets. LA's gotten like that several times since I've lived here. Bob Wells did a video on this place. Oh, did he really? He came to Texas and did a video on it, Joel P? I'll have to try to look that one up. Oh, have I ever been to northern Arizona? Yeah, I've been to northern Arizona. I've been to Prescott. I don't know any place in Arizona I haven't been. I've been all over Arizona. Flagstaff, Prescott, Kingsman, Havasu, Phoenix, Tucson. I bought the Snap-on truck in Sierra Vista, just way down close to the Mexican border, south on the I-10, down on the border in Arizona. So yeah, I'm very familiar with Arizona. Oh, you lived in Dolan Springs, Arizona. That's a big difference from Minnesota. How long did you live in Arizona, Random Nomad? Northwest Arizona desert, still like 3,600 feet. That's about what Joshua Tree is. I think Joshua Tree is 4,300 feet, if I remember right. But it's high desert. A lot of people don't know that if you're in Joshua Tree, you're in high desert, and it's only 36 miles from Joshua Tree to Palm Springs. But if you're in Palm Springs, you are in the what do they call it? The valley. Can't think of the name, but you're down in the valley. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, it's where Indio and what is the big concert they have down there? Coachella. It's the Coachella Valley. So Chino Valley. I know Keenan, yeah. So yeah, so if you get down to Palm Springs, you're down in the Coachella Valley. And that's called the low desert. And then if you go to Joshua Tree, you're on I-10 and you take 60 to 62 and you climb 4,000 feet up to Joshua Tree. You come out in Yucca Valley, and then Joshua Tree, and then 29 Palms is up there. Man, this hour goes so fast. It's so crazy how fast the hour goes. We still got 9 people in the room. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. We got 3 likes. Try to hit that like button for me. I do appreciate it. Hopefully I'll have this sound thing ironed out by the next show. I was all excited, thought I had everything going good, and then not so much when we actually got the show started. We'll jump back over here, see if, yeah, B camera's still working. Chino Valley is in Arizona. Gotcha. Coachella Valley is in California, where they have the big Coachella Music Festival. Didn't have it this year. It was the first year that they don't have the music festival. Leonore, so what happened to Mike Wallace? Oh, we talked about that, Lee. So Mike Wallace, he actually got suspended indefinitely by NASCAR for a social media post that he made, and the social media post that he made, in my opinion, it wasn't anything to be suspended over. It's pretty alarming to get suspended. I'll read it to you guys one more time. The grammar in it. There's a couple of grammar mistakes, and I read it wrong. It says, I fly across the United States today. As I fly across the United States today, I'm ready various people's political views, and I'm ready various. That doesn't make any sense. It says, today I'm ready various people's political views, and I have to say a famous 4-star military general that I spent time with in the Mideast told me, Mike, let me give you some advice. Don't ever get in the conversation about politics or religion unless you are really smart. I said, why do you say that? Comment. His response, it's like being balanced on a single-edged razor blade. If you slip, you will get cut. Think about that before you all make foolish, uneducated posts. Moral of this story is most of us just repeat what we have heard, and we really don't know. Have a positive day. And so that post got Mr. Wallace suspended from NASCAR indefinitely. So there's not even a time frame. They didn't say like 2 weeks, a month. He's indefinitely suspended for that post, and he's got to go to something like sensitivity training or something like that. We are living in weird times, guys. Bizarro world. But the scary thing about that is when they start, that's going to trickle down. That's what scares me, because when that starts, like with NASCAR or the NFL or any of these big corporations, when it starts happening like Yahoo or Amazon or Apple or something like that, it's going to trickle down to all of us. And I've made much more inflammatory Facebook posts that most of you probably know. I mean, and I can't imagine getting suspended from work indefinitely over something so non-threatening or it's not even like it's not that politically correct. Oh, Lance Hale, what is going on, buddy? We're just getting ready to wrap this up. You guys are so funny, because when I used to do this show, there was a time when in the old studio I'd do it like at 9, and everybody told me it was way too late. And so I started doing it earlier, and now it's funny, everybody gets in here just as it's ending. It's all good though. Great to see you, Lance. How's that new trailer? Did you get that new trailer? For those that don't know, Lance is a buddy of mine. I hung out with him in Austin. He came and actually saw me and met me because he watched my YouTube videos when I was Vagabond Days, and I was traveling around in my camper van Bertha. And somebody asked, I think it was Random Nomad asked, yes, I still have Bertha. I had Bertha sold, but I had to get the title changed, and California, of course, has lost the title. So I got the title changed like a month ago, and I've never received it. Lance Hell says it's not here yet, end of the month. So, Lance, I'm still surprised that you sold your B-Class camper van. You were in love with that thing. Didn't you have the same, what was that camper that you had? Was it the same kind that Hobotech has? I can't remember what Hobotech has. He's got the Dodge. Yeah, nice. Lance is good people. So I actually done something I didn't do very often when I was in Austin, and I stayed at a little RV park. It was like $25 a night or something like that. So I ended up staying like 3 nights. And Lance brought some Coronas out to the RV park, and him and I hung out and just talked. It was a real good time. Yeah, it was a Road Trek 190. I still love it. But you sold it, right, Lance? Yeah, that's exactly what Hobotech has. He's got a Road Trek 190. Yeah, I have no idea, Melinda, how that happens. Oh, you got it for sale? Oh, yeah, it was Ducati, was it? You're exactly right. It wasn't Corona, it was Ducati. It's been a couple of years since that day. Anyway, guys, we're 10 minutes after. I've made a commitment to myself that we're going to keep these things right at an hour. Thanks for dropping in right here at the tail end, Lance. I do appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing your pull behind travel trailer once you get it. Post some pictures of it on Facebook. Melinda, I want to find a small motorhome. Any pointers? The cost of motorhomes right now are through the roof. I still have Bertha for sale, but I got to get a title to get it. Joe Eldorado, you're just getting here too? Or you've been here just listening? Good to see you, Joe. You know what's funny is, Joe, you're in Austin, and my buddy Lance Hale, you guys are both right there. My buddy Joel, for those, Joe Eldorado, for those that don't know, he used to live here in California. He lived up in, not Palmdale. God, where did you live? It's Victorville. Up in Victorville. Isn't Victorville off the 15? Joe lived up in Victorville, and his sister Rose still lives up there, but Joe actually moved to Austin. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for dropping in for the Friday evening stream. You guys have a great, safe weekend. Melinda, you stay safe. Hope things get better for you guys. I hope they get the fires out up there. And peace and positive vibes, everybody. Have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe. And we will see some of you back here Monday night or Monday evening, 7 p.m. Pacific Central Time. Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you for listening to the American